Be me. Around 6 years old. Wake up in dead of night. Can't remember the time. Scramble out of room, needing to pee. Out of the corner of my eye, flickers. See a large, black cloaked figure. Gulp. Closer look at it, and it resembles a cross between a plague doctor and a grim reaper. Deathly white skin, wearing a mask with a long curved beak, but I could see the fiend's mouth and eyes. Short, sharp teeth, coal-colored eyes, talon nails staking out from underneath sheet body. With raspy sneer, it hisses and floats towards me. I am the emissary of the living dead. Practically pissed my pants, stare at the emissary for 5 minutes. Afraid it'll kill me if I move. It vanishes. Rush to bathroom to empty my bladder and bowels. Struggle to sleep the rest of the night. I've never seen the emissary since, but it lives rent-free in my mind. I've always wondered if this was my child mind reinterpreting a horror movie, but I can't think of any movie that has an entity like this. Not super scary, but my only experience. Be me, a year ago or so. Chilling in bed, trying to sleep. I start to feel breathing on my neck. Regular, gentle, cold blows of air. Assess my situation. I'm alone. The window is closed. Maybe I'm somehow blowing the air through my sheets this way. Hold my breath to check if I'm doing it myself. It continues. It's also out of sync with mine. I even stick my leg out to see if there's a breeze in my room. But no. Fuck this. I turn around to face it. It stops. Fuck you, ghost, or whatever. My first memory is from when I was 3. My mom fought off someone that tried to kidnap me. There's a police report from 1992 about it. The perpetrator was ID'd from her car key. She put it between her fingers and punched him, and this got his DNA on it. He was tied to a few rapes in the area. Be me, 19 years old. Meet with girlfriend after not seeing each other for a few months. Fool around with her, and get into sexy time. Finally night. Get to sleep with her. Wake up in the middle of the night. You are hugging her. Feels nice, that JPEG. Someone opens door to my bedroom. My girlfriend opened it, and comes through the door. What? Realize you aren't hugging your girlfriend. Hyperventilate. Wake up. My girlfriend woke me up because I was hyperventilating. I know this might be a shit story, but every time I remember it, it just spooks me. It spooks me because I didn't remember any single dream for a few years from that situation. I wanted to achieve lucid dreaming. I achieved it. And after which, I had constant nightmares about my ex-girlfriend dying. I've had a few bouts of sleep paralysis. I've got tons of paranormal stories, but I'm not afraid of the paranormal, so my experiences aren't creepy or scary. My sleep paralysis experiences, on the other hand. First experience. Just saw the first Paranormal Activity movie in theaters. Freaked me out at the time. Sleeping that night. Wake up. Can't move. Can feel angry, evil shadow entity watching from my closet. Can't even turn head to look at it, but it is radiating malice and hatred. Entity forces me into a sitting position, then throws me across the room into the darkest part. Suddenly, back in bed. He does it again, over and over. Eventually wake up, terrified and gasping for breath. Second experience. Wake up in bed. Can't move. Room is very dark, but I can see around my bed. Bed is surrounded by evil animals with glowing red eyes. They hate me, especially the big white duck. He hates me the most. Feel the bed depress on my right, then on my left, like someone is straddling my chest. Can feel the hatred from the entity. It starts beating the shit out of me until I wake up. Be me, 9 years old. Come downstairs for dinner. A hallway connects to the kitchen from the stairs. I started walking to the kitchen. Suddenly, I see myself in front of me walk into the kitchen. I'm still in the hallway, standing, still processing what is happening. My mom starts talking to me. Run into the kitchen. Oh, Anan, weren't you just here? I still have no idea what happened. I asked her about it a couple years ago, and she said she vaguely remembered. She passed last month. I miss her. B8. Stay up late watching TV in the living room. Accidentally see the beginning of a horror movie, alone. Turn off the TV out of fear. The last shot of the movie was a close-up of 2 scary eyes. The TV was the only light in the room. Find yourself in a completely dark room now that the TV is off. The only thing you see is your own faint reflection on the TV screen. Start trying to sneak into your own room, completely silent for some reason. Heart rate through the roof. Start almost crying because of the fear. Eyes start to adjust to the dark hallway to your room. Suddenly, something catches your sight. See two glistening eyes floating in the middle of the hall. Terror runs down your spine, and you freeze. The eyes don't move. The eyes don't blink. No matter how hard you try to look, you don't see a body connected to the eyes. Almost pass out since you stopped breathing as you froze. A few seconds pass. That feels like 10 minutes. Nothing happens, so you are forced to act. Slowly walk backwards to find a light switch. The hallway lights up. It's your older brother, stoned out of his gourd. His eyes are red as all hell. Start laughing out loud. Brother mumbles about something, but doesn't respond to you. Get scared again since this is the first time seeing your brother like this. Shake your brother to try to get him to his senses. He becomes very confused and doesn't know where he was. He was sleepwalking. After that, it happened quite a few times. Always when he got high. Apparently, we'd make some people sleepwalk. The only other super creepy story was when, as a kid, I probably saw what is supposedly an extinct canine animal, and a guy who was tracking it figured out that I saw it, and interrogated me and prevented me from leaving. I was alone, maybe 9 years old, and he was very forceful. I'm pretty sure I almost got missing 411'd as a kid. Family outing in Appalachian Hills, near where I live. I was 6 or 7 probably. My cousin and I went far off into the open woods while parents set up picnic. Fall time, so no brush. I saw this huge pile of branches and sticks in the middle of the area. Climbed up it. I remember looking out and around. Then I looked up and saw this black mass plummeting down towards me. Fucking bolted so fast and ran back to parents telling them what happened. Cousin was behind me but didn't see anything and wondered why I left him out there. I haven't thought about it in a while, but every time I do, I remember it exactly how it was. And even then, I could not make out what it was that was dripping down to me, but it was like a black void was coming at me. Parents didn't believe me, of course. Be 11 or 12. Be really into pulling pranks. Come up with a new prank where you stand on two sides of a small road with your friend. When a car drives towards the spot, you mime pull a rope tight between you two very visibly. The cars always do a sudden brake, and sometimes yell at you. Mostly, it's a pretty harmless prank. Pull the prank all around the town. Figure out the best place to do it is close to the town's only McDonald's. That way you get people to do a sudden break with a fresh drink or food in their laps. Once see a milkshake explode in the windshield of a car and get chased on foot. Nothing bad happens though. One day, pull the prank on a small road. There is almost no cars around and it's getting late. Think that you picked a bad spot and start preparing to go home. Realize you're not really sure where you are, since you've never been in that part of the town. The atmosphere gets strangely tense between you and your friends. All of you are scared for no good reason. Decide that you want to do the prank at least once, so you wait for a car. After maybe half an hour, you see a car at the end of the road. It's a nice looking newer car with tinted glass, so you can't see who's inside. The car comes close, and your friend gives the signal. You pretend to pull the rope, and hear a horrible screeching sound. The screech is normal, but the boom that happens afterwards is not. See the car on the road fully stopped, with its front bumper crumpled inwards, and the windshield shattered. The bumper is completely destroyed looking, like a tight wire cut into it. Become very confused, and just stand there looking at the totaled car with your friends. The car's doors open, and a family of 4 stumbles out, with the kids crying. The airbags inflated, and front passengers are both clearly injured. Have no idea what the hell happened, since they crashed into nothing. Decide to run away into the night. Never pull the prank on anyone again, and try to forget it ever happened. Be me. 8. Walk through a graveyard in my hometown that is built more like a big foresty park with my friend. It's winter, so it's dark early. It's around 7 to 8 p.m. We're using flashlights. Talking about kid stuff. Autistically shine the flashlight everywhere. Shine it in between some bushes. Oh shit, that JPEG. See what looks like a severely skinny 80-year-old man with claws and nails that are as long as his legs. His eyes were very reflective. My friend didn't notice it. Keep walking. Wanted to point it out to my friend, but for some reason, don't. I turned my flashlight away like nothing happened. Too shocked to say anything for a few minutes, but not scared. We get out of there. My kid brain didn't register it, but that was horrifying. Around 2 years ago, we're watching TV with my hyper-religious Christian dad. Dad is flipping through channels when the TV begins glitching. Nearly a 14-year-old Sanyo flat screen at the time. So, it has a bit of issues. And it still does. The TV fucking stops on The Exorcist from 1973. And he begins freaking his shit. Flips a couple channels. When the TV flips back to The Exorcist, he does it again. And the TV, once again, flips back to The Exorcist. He's absolutely throwing a shit fit by now and begins praying. It's at the scene where the lady's getting possessed. I'm sitting there WTFing and snatched a remote out of his hand. Took me a second because he was latched to it like a fucking vice. Dang it, Dad, hand me the remote. Can't get the remote out of his hand, so I just tear it out. Flip it several channels when it flips to another channel on its own. And then back to The Exorcist again. He's borderline having a heart attack. I'm not even fazed, but I am pissed off because this TV is shit. Unplug the TV and the extension cord. Shut down the entire surround sound, TV and box to it, including other electronics. Plugged it back in, and the TV began resetting automatically. It pulled up The Exorcist, and I flipped it to another channel. Landed on Dinosaurus with Ward Ramsey, one of my all-time favorite movies. Oh hell yeah. Time to see Ward Ramsey battle the T-Rex on a cliffside. Sat down like jack shit happened. Dad's pissed off by now. See, Dad? That's all you had to do, is unplug the damn TV. Dad replied, You're an asshole. My face went. Still laugh about it today. Be hanging at friend's place. Anywhere from 2 to 4 a.m. Me and friend are channel surfing while the others were doing something, I don't know. Flip to Discovery Channel. Clip of a swastika and a crucifix burning. Change channel. We were only on the other channel for no more than 5 seconds when we realized, hey, wait a second, .mp3. Change back, and it's regular Discovery Channel shit about some desert or something. Be me, high school kid in small town. Popular skate park in town that friends and I frequent to smoke weed and fuck around in. 3 houses in the middle of the park that you can only access by the trails. Pretty nice houses at one time, not some tiny cabins. Driveway had an entrance to a small road nearby that was pretty hidden and gated. Friend tells me he's been inside the houses and they're abandoned. Strange part is, they seemed completely abandoned, but every once in a while, there would be luxury vehicles in the driveway. Once every few weeks to few months. We're talking Porsches, Hummers, Lambos, etc. Lots of them, like 5 or 6 at a time, or none. Not something you see every day in my rural small town. Make a plan to go in the house anyway. My buddy is absolutely sure they are abandoned and completely unworried. Meet up at the park with 6 people. Myself, 4 friends, 1 friend's girlfriend. Friend's girlfriend's dad is a cop in our town. The one who has already been there starts leading the way up the trail. Trail turns into cobblestone, then paved over with asphalt as we approach the houses. Get to the central driveway of the 3 houses. Cars aren't there. Coast is clear. Houses look abandoned with a couple weird exceptions. One has broken windows, overgrown by ivy, and even some graffiti on it. But a satellite dish on the roof that looks brand new. Friend leads us to the back door, which was already ajar. Inside is very fucking weird. No furniture, no signs of inhabitants, no clothes, no pictures, etc. Lots, and I mean lots, of canned goods. Every single room has stacks of cans and old bottles. Seem to be ranging in age for at least 100 years. Pile of Spam cans and beans that were no older than a couple years old, next to glass Windex bottles from the 1930s. Jars filled with random shit everywhere, containing anything from spices to hardware to coins. Walk around both floors only to find every room is exactly the same, with collections of random canned and jarred goods. One of us gets the bright idea to go down to the basement. Buddy opens the door to the basement, and it's fucking pitch black down there. Reluctantly, but with an exaggerated sense of confidence, he starts heading down. Doesn't make it down more than 1 step or 2 before we hear a car slowly rolling into the driveway, and a car door shut. Oh fuck. It's the Porsche motorcade coming to lynch us. All freeze in dead silence. Know we have to leave, but the only way out is the back door in full view of the driveway. Decide to walk out all at once and face whoever it is. Maybe even talk our way out of spelunking some boomer's prepper storage house or whatever. It's the fucking cops. Dad? What are you doing here? Friend's girlfriend's cop dad standing in the driveway, which has a locked gate, next to his patrol cruiser. He's pissed. Death stare.gif. Walks up to us, slowly looks, and just says, "Go home." Anand's girlfriend gets angry and argues as a teenage girl would. But Dad, we weren't doing anything. It's just an empty house. You are trespassing on federal government property. Puts her in the car and waits in the driveway till he sees us leave through the trail. Anand's girlfriend tells us her dad refused to tell her anything or answer any of her follow-up questions, including how he knew we were there and how he got in the gate. A few months pass, and we're back in the same park smoking a blunt with two of the kids that came in the house with me. It's late, like midnight or so. A light goes on in the distance. It's the house at the top of the hill, the empty one that we went inside of. Figure standing in the upstairs window, looking out in our direction. Do a 360 and book it the fuck out of there. Never attempted going near those houses again. Be me, a couple of years ago, hanging out with my friends at the beach. 2 a.m., just talking. Zero drugs. I have never done drugs. Look up to the sky, watching the stars. I see what looks like a star that is moving. It's not moving in a straight line. It's moving in all directions. Ask my friends if they see it too. They say they do. And that's it. To this day, I have no idea what it was. Maybe a satellite? I don't know. Be me, around 9 to 10 years old. Live in rural Queensland. Nearest town, about 114 kilometers away. My mom, brother, best mate, his older sister, and their mom all driving our ute out to local airstrip to watch the Geminids. All laying there, watching them fall. One larger than the rest falls. Stop mid-horizon. Zips upwards. Diagonally down. Diagonally back across an opposite direction. Grows brighter. Shoots off across sky, leaving a blazing arc. Both our moms say get in the car. No one speaks as we drive home. Next day at school, chick in our year goes, "Were you guys on the aerodrome last night? We could hear your voices. We were parked on our property side beside it. What was that light? Mom and Dad told me not to talk about it." There had been a lot of reported UFO stuff in the area, apparently over the years. I remember we drove up a road halfway between my hometown and the next, years later, and I saw a guarded satellite/observatory station. Can't find it on any Google Earth maps though. Be me. Dad has this spooky ability when he knows someone is going to call him. He used to waltz into the house in the 90s and 2000s before cell phones. Wait next to phone. 30 seconds later, it would ring. Eventually got bored and said he's going to try to protect callers. Shaky at first. Eventually becomes God tier. He could feel people he hadn't known for years, ready to call. Starts using it for other stuff. One day, in a bar with him, he sits up straight and starts smiling and says his friend is back. Goes down the street to a deli, finds an old rough-looking man. They hug. It's his first day out of prison on parole for multiple homicides. Guy laughs and tells me my dad was creepy as fuck back in the day. He could feel bad vibes and avoided car bombs. Prevented a couple gang hits on friends. Said the night he killed a guy banging his wife, my dad said he felt ill and wished a killer would stay with him all night drinking. Said he had bad vibes. Man cried and said he wished he had listened. Dad uses his powers to become a counselor. Has an almost 70% success rate, which is almost unheard of. Recruited by Eric Clapton for his rehab facility. Can't explain how he knows who's been molested, is full of pain, etc. Just knows what's wrong with him and how to fix it. Retires after a long career. Hurts his back one day. Gets hooked on painkillers. His powers fade. The opiates block it. Eventually, becomes a shell of himself. Cries all the time now. He can no longer feel people, and it's worse than death. Powers can be great and terrible.